Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and watching this video. This is going to be my group weekly reading for the week of March 22nd through to the 28th. Let's be honest, nobody could have predicted what was going to happen to the world in the last couple of weeks. And especially over the last week in North America, there's been a lot of shifts, and in England and Europe, there's been a lot of shutdowns. This week is going to be a different week for me, where I'm going to really be focusing in on that light and love rather than the challenges and obstacles. We know globally we have a major obstacle to overcome. However, I don't want to be focusing in on that. I want to focus in on what we can do, because some of it we have no or limited ability to make a difference in. So we do have that movement and growth in our lives. So for this reading, I am going to be using the Everyday Witches Tarot and then the Chakra Wisdom Oracle. And like always, there are links below to both these decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. Now this is a selection reading. So your choices for this reading, I've got Tiger Eye group, I have an Amethyst group, and I also have a Moonstone group. Below I have timestamps for each of these crystals, so you can jump to whichever reading and whichever crystal speaks to you for this reading. Hello my Tiger Eye friends. This reading is especially for you guys. So like normal, I have all my 78 cards in my tarot deck and then a full oracle deck to do this reading with, so that you are able to get that full experience and have access to all the cards. All right, my Tiger Eye friends, let's see what the cards have to say today. What can my Tiger Eye friends expect from the week of March 22nd through to the 28th? Dissipating. It's interesting that this card came up first. It was the first card that jumped out. Now, dissipating talks about being penned in or allowing yourself to be boxed in by the stories that are being told. We know that the media is giving us information that may not always be true, but using your critical thinking skills. We are in a time where things are really being thrown in our face, and there's a lot of scare going on. Many of us are working from that fear-based model, and the news and the media aren't helping. Not to mention, governments are conflicting on information, and there's an uncertainty as to how much truth that they're sharing and how much truth has been shared with them. So using that inner solar plexus, that inner fire, to be really critical about what you're watching and being very mindful of what you're watching. When we focus in or hyper-focus in on the news and on all these conferences that are happening, we start to scare ourselves even more. So being mindful of that. Yes, most of us are being asked to stay in our houses right now so that we are able to slow the progression of this virus down. However, we do need to be critical in our thinking. We need to be very mindful of what we allow into our homes. Being mindful of that information that the internet, YouTube, the news is sharing, because not all of it's accurate and not all of it is going to be for your best interest. Impatience came with it. We want this done and done now. We're tired of being in our houses. We're tired of all the restrictions in our lives right now. We're not happy. Many of us are not feeling well. Anxiety is bringing us down. So there's a lot of desire for this to be over with. Even when we're pushing through this, we're not acknowledging and embracing what this time is giving us. Many of us have said, oh, if I only had more time. Well, be careful what you ask for. Use your time more constructively. Yes, like myself, many of us are working from home. As I work from home, it's not a huge deal. But being able to balance that out and get some things done that you've wanted to do, whether it be around the house, spiritually, mentally, we're able to have more time. We have less commute. We have less demands because we're not being asked to go out. Our friends and family are in the same boat we are. They're not asking for that connection. So using that time more wisely. And then as I was putting the cards away, this card jumped out. Trickery. Really connects into that dissipating card. Being mindful of what the media is saying. Being mindful of what you're allowing in your house. Because it's impacting you and everyone in the household. Your ego is going to really play up and embrace this quote-unquote news and what's happening in the world right now. Because this confinement really screams and speaks to the ego in keeping you in one space so that you don't allow yourself to grow and to flourish in all aspects of your lives. All right, let's look at this week a little bit more. What card represents the week of March 22nd through the 28th for my Tiger Eye friends? The Five of Swords. Not surprising we're seeing this card. Fives are always a conflictuary number in tarot. They always talk about those competing ideas, expectations, and in this case, knowledge. Swords are about truth and knowledge. So we're looking at that conflicting information and also our desire to learn and expand. We're having lots of conflict here. It's going to be a week where we need to slow things down in our minds. Again, being very mindful of what we allow in so we are able to really nurture ourselves and our loved ones and our community at large. And to highlight this, and my cards finally caught up, we have the Two of Cups. Twos are about duality and choice. Cups about that intuition and emotion. The Two of Cups is known as the lesser lovers. They take that archetype of the lovers, that energy of connection and commitment, and bring it into everyday practice. Using that commitment, that connection, that loving energy towards self and towards those in your household will go a long way. Especially when we start to cut down some of this negative energy that isn't serving any greater good. The latest and greatest news gives us death tolls and people who are sick. Yes, we need to have a general understanding of what's happening and those expectations that the government and healthcare professionals have of us. However, we can shut it down. We don't need it streaming 24/7. Being mindful, balancing things out, and spending some extra time and energy in those relationships, and especially with ourselves. Like I said, this week is going to give you extra time, be able to indulge in different aspects of our lives that we've kind of wanted to. We don't have that commute. We don't have that extra stress of those other demands, those extra outside demands. Focusing in on ourselves this week would be fantastic. Focusing in on those relationships and our family is important. Even those family and friends who are on the exterior of our household, connecting in with them in safe ways will give you that support and boost. Making sure they're okay, making sure you're okay, and connecting on a different level. And that's what we're really being challenged. We do want to remain connected, but we have to do it in a different way now. We also have to be very mindful of what connections we have. Let's look at the beginning part of the week. What does the beginning of the week bring? My tiger eye friends. The Two of Pentacles. We have that quintessential balancing card, my friends. We need to balance our time and energies in a more productive way. Like I said, connecting in to things that we've really wanted to but held off because we didn't feel we had the time. Balancing ourselves, clearing our energies and some of this buildup that we're holding from the media, from other sources and outlets, grounding ourselves and having that very clear head to look at what's happening and really reassess how you can connect in with others and how that connection is going to be more meaningful for you. Now we do have the 2 twos, double twos, the cups and the pentacles, and angel messages. The angels are telling you to keep the faith and don't give up. Yes, we're on a very big challenge in the world globally. However, when we don't give up, we refocus our energies from that kind of chaotic, low vibrational into that more high vibrational, unconditional loving energy, we're going to start to see the world shift in a positive way. Right now, everybody's in that doom and gloom stage, or a lot of us are in that doom and gloom stage. Rebalancing those energies and shifting our attention to the positive. What about the middle of the week? What does the middle of the week bring, my tiger eye friends? The Eight of Wands. I know this card looks really kind of chaotic. However, that's not what the Eight of Wands talks about. We are going to see a big shift in that creative energy, in our passionate energy, whether that be a connection in and diving into that relationship with our partner, or gaining some divine intervention into those passion-centered areas of our lives that's going to help us really shift ourselves from that low vibration to the high vibration. Now, some of us, there will be a blessed selection of people who will be both in the relationship and then in our passion creative mode, where you're going to see those upliftings. Embracing it and being open to it. Again, it's that shift, and that's what we're really looking at, is shifting that viewpoint. We can't change what's happening. However, we can shift our viewpoints, and we can shift what we're doing and how we're responding to things. And what about the end of the week? What does the end of the week bring, my tiger eye friends? The Six of Cups. Sixes are about balance and harmony. That cup, that intuition and emotion. The Six of Cups is that reminiscing card. And when we're looking at that reminiscing, I'm being very clearly guided to reminiscing on those positive pieces. Many of us have lived through pandemics and epidemics in our past lives, and that can start to niggle through as we go through this and as we wade the tide that's happening. Making sure that you stay in that positive, unconditional loving energy, keeping those memories and reminiscing sessions in the happy and light rather than those sorrows and heartache. It's so easy for our ego and for ourselves to flash back into those traumatic sads. We need to stay in that high vibrational space. And when we start to feel those sads coming on or those traumas coming back to us, I'm going to send you right back to the Two of Pentacles. Grounding, centering, and breathing. We can't stop what has happened in the past, and we can't stop what's happening in our communities. What we can do is really being mindful of where we focus our energies. This week I'm not going to do a challenge because, let's be honest, I'm not adding more to what we're looking at. I'm staying in the positive. Again, I'm choosing to do this because that's what we need. We need that positive, we need healing, and we need love right now. So we're going to go straight into some blessings. And that blessing shot across the table. So what blessing can my tiger eye friends embrace for the beginning of the week? Creation. This card decided to take a nosedive and bounce around my table. That creation is going to be imperative. Focusing in on our passions, focusing in on our talents, those pieces that we love to do, but we never have the time for. This is the time for it, my friends. Embracing it, pulling it close to you to help wade you through what's happening. Because when we focus in on that positive, we get out of our head, we get out of what's happening, those worries, those concerns, and we spend that time doing something we love and enjoy. Not only does the time pass quicker, but we're able to allow the universe to help us in ways that we'd never imagined before, giving us that support and nurturing that we need right now. All right, on to the middle of the week. What blessing can my tiger eye friends embrace for the middle of the week? Guilt. We are going to feel something fierce about those individuals who are not with us, how we're not being able to do everything for everybody. Rather, our hand is being forced to stay where we're at. So we're not able to do all that we used to be able to do or what we felt we had to do. That guilt is going to ride high with us. And of course, insecurity. So they both jumped out. They're both very meaningful cards, and most of us are feeling this already and have been for about a week or so as things have unfolded. Goes back down to that grounding, that centering, and that calm. When we start to have those guilty feelings, challenging those feelings, challenging ourselves. What more could you do? Because sometimes we have to really limit what we can do so that we're not going to cause pain and suffering for others. Making sure we feel stable and asking and reaching out for the help we need, because sometimes we feel like we're going to be a burden. Goes back to that guilt as well. But asking for what we need, because without our words, people are going to have to guess, which brings in more guilt. So again, we're looking at challenging ourselves and challenging those inner thoughts on trying to be everything for everybody and not asking for that help. Making sure we have that security, and sometimes that security comes in when we're grounding and loving ourselves. And what about the end of the week? What blessing can my tiger eye friends embrace for the end of the week? Wisdom. Wisdom is going to come through as we start to feel that stability and that groundedness, and we feel more balanced, and we're able to tap into that passion and into that intuition and historical past, we're going to gain the wisdom on how we want to move forward. What shifts and changes do we want to implement and start implementing in our lives right now? So not only do we have that sense of passion and love in our lives, but we're able to do so and embracing that global sense. Because we are not alone, we are connected. I know a lot of us are going to feel alone because we are asked to stay in our houses and stay away from each other. So how we're going to do that on a global stage so that we all can heal and grow from this. What further insight and wisdom can we share with my Tiger Eye friends for the week of March 22nd through the 28th? The Ace of Wands. This week is going to bring you a lot of aha moments, especially in the passion center. We're going to see that connection in, that movement and push forward with our wands, with that passion center. Like I said before, some of us are going to have it in that relationship area, and others will have it in that creative aspect. And there will be a third group that gets it in both. But you're going to have those aha eureka moments, and that we're really going to have to embrace those and nurture those aha moments along. The Ten of Pentacles. That family card. Remembering to reach out and connect in through whatever means that you need to your family. The internet, the phone, there's a lot of ways that you can connect in with those family and friends to make sure they're okay and make sure they're getting what they need. And at the same time, protecting everyone in that family group. Part of this is that protection. And in some cases, staying away, that physical separation is a lot safer than connecting in and possibly infecting each other. So making sure you're being proactive on both fronts. The Wheel of Fortune. This too shall pass, my friends. This is not the first pandemic or epidemic that the world has seen, and I hate to tell you it won't be the last. However, this too will pass, and we are going to gain that experience and wisdom and growth that humanity needs right now. And then finally, the Ace of Pentacles. That growth that we're looking for. As this progresses and as things shift, we are going to gain that knowledge that we need, and knowledge that we're going to need in the future to overcome some similar challenges. Because like I said, many of us have survived this in the past. We don't want to bring that up, but we do want to add to our tools and skills in overcoming those challenges. Now we do have an interesting pattern here. We've got double aces in between those two tens. So in angel messages, these aces, these double ones, the angels are telling you that this is a time to believe in yourself and your abilities. Most importantly, you're going to attract what you think, which goes back to that original statement. You've got to shift where our priorities are and shift those energies. That double 10, the angels are telling you that this is a time of personal development and spiritual enlightenment. That growth is going to be immense in the upcoming weeks, this week and the weeks and months to come. I said at the beginning of my 2020 videos, and even at the tail end of my 2019 videos, 2020 is going to give us that foundation we need. We never knew what that foundation was going to look like. We need to bring it down to that brass bones so that we can build things up. We can feel stronger, more stable, and balanced as we go forward into the decade. I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me today and watching my video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is going to offer you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is a lot more healing that I'm going to be focusing in on over the next couple of weeks, so you don't want to miss any of that. The best way to stay connected is to hit the little red bell and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. I want to thank you again for joining me today, and I send you lots of love and light. Until tomorrow, my friends. Hello and welcome, my amethyst friends. Alright, this reading is just for you. Now, there are all 78 cards in my tarot and then the full deck of Oracle, because I want you to have access to all the cards for this reading so you get the utmost support and the most clear reading. Alright, my friends, let's see what the cards have to say. What can my amethyst friends expect from the week of March 22nd through to the 28th? Recovery. I'm really focusing in on that positive energy for this reading, and my cards and high vibrational beings are really supporting me with this. We are going to recover, and the knowledge that we're going to gain through this process is going to serve not only ourselves but humankind as we go forward. Creation. We need to focus in on creating a very stable platform and connecting into our passions so that we're able to remain in that high vibrational energy. Through our passions, we're able to get out of our head and not focus in on what is happening and what's being reported to us. We're able to stay in that high vibrational and, most importantly, fun energy of that creation and passion. Grief. Not all of us are going to be impacted in a very sad and heartache way of losing somebody through this virus. We will, however, be impacted because our lives are going to shift and change. We do need to grieve the loss of what we had hoped or expected or had planned for and how they've changed. I'm not really getting the loss of people here. I'm getting the loss of those hopes and dreams. Some of them are going to shift. Some of them we're going to have to let go of, because grander and greater things are coming forward. All right, let's see what else this week has to hold for us. What card represents March 22nd through the 28th for my amethyst friends? The Chariot, the 7th card in the Major Arcana. The Chariot uses his willpower, his passion, and his determination to overcome any challenges. Now, the Chariot is also a balancing card. The original card in most cards, the Charioteer, has animals, or, well, in the original card it was two sphinx, a black and a white. In this way we've got the black and the white directional signs. But that balance is going to be key. Yes, we're going to need to use our willpower, our courage and determination to face what's happening right now in our world, in our communities, and in our societies. However, we do need to keep that balance. That balance in ourselves will help to balance out our lives. That balance is going to be key for us because we're going to be able to come at situations and problems and stresses in a more level-headed way. When we're looking at an environment of having everyone home for long periods of time without being able to go out, we start to get that cabin fever, and we start to see the tensions start to really come forward where they may not have been before. So balancing things out, using our critical thinking skills, and really giving each other some space so that you do have the ability for those passions, for those self-centered moments where you're focusing in and nurturing self. The Ten of Pentacles, the family card, or one of the family cards. Yes, our family is going to be astronomically important for us. Helps to give us that stability and that grounding that we need. Making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, taking care of our families as we need, and ensuring that we're doing it in a safe manner so that we're not inadvertently infecting them or them infecting us. Nobody wants to get sick right now. However, we all want to nurture and love each other and support each other. So supporting each other in different and very creative ways, and ensuring that we're connecting in, especially if you know you have extended family who are very isolated and may be living alone. Then we had the Nine of Wands. The Nine really talks about that frazzled energy that many of us are going to feel as we have so many people in an environment that normally doesn't have everybody stuck in one spot. Not only are we going to feel that, but others in other households will feel that, and we're going to kind of have that kind of frazzled energy coming forward in our communities and in our households. Anytime we're starting to feel that frazzled and anxious energy, bringing it down, grounding ourselves, breathing, using things that are going to help us out. Crystals are amazing. Any red or black crystal, tiger eye will help to ground us so we don't feel so frazzled, so burnt out. We're able to come at the situation from that very clear and critical mind, and that's going to be essential. Because when we're functioning from this end of frazzled, we're not going to be able to retain the knowledge that we need and make those choices for our greater good and for a more positive outcome. All right, let's look at this week a little bit more. What does the beginning of the week look like for my amethyst friends? The Five of Cups. Fives are always a conflict number in tarot. The Cups is about that intuition and emotion. Now the Five of Cups talks about focusing in on what isn't working in our lives. Aspects and pieces that haven't really been giving us that full fulfillment and isn't part of our life's journey, our soul's deeper purpose. Rather, the Two of Cups, those pieces and aspects that are going to bring us fulfillment and joy and are aligned with our greater good and our soul's deeper journey, has been with us. We have not been acknowledging it. This connects into that grief of those lost pieces and aspects of our lives that we're going to need to release because we're not focusing in on what is truly important, that creation and life-giving area. So yes, it's going to be sad and it's going to be hard. However, that using our courage, our determination, our skills and abilities, we have the ability to turn around and grab what is going to be working. Disappointment can be very hard Disappointment can be hard sometimes. However, when we can acknowledge and identify disappointment for what it is, we are able to embrace that light and that love of joy and, most importantly, fulfillment. It really encourages us forward. We're being drawn in and really driven by that chariot. So that determination and willpower and knowledge that not only have you got this and that you're going to do it well, nothing's holding you back. And that energy of not fearing what is going to be more meaningful for you will help. And that's what we're going to see in the beginning of the week. That grieving sad, yet knowledge that this isn't what's supposed to be. There's something better for me. What about the middle of the week? What does the middle of the week bring? My amethyst friends. The Five of Swords. There is so much conflicting knowledge. There's so much conflicting energy right now. So it's not surprising, and in a lot of the readings I've been doing recently, the fives have been really coming up. The media is bombarding us with information. Some of it is based on truths. Others are based on fabrications and half-truths, or what different entities and bodies are telling us. Being very mindful of what information you're allowing in, because we want to stay in this light and love. We don't want to be focused in on that frazzled and that doomsday, oh my God energy. When we have that conflicting energy, that's when you start to make those choices. Like I said, that clear critical thinking, that clear critical mind is going to be essential. We don't need to stream the news 24/7. We don't need to be watching those conferences 24/7. Because not only is it impacting us, it impacts everybody in the household. Because when you're at that frazzled energy, that energy is shared and amplified by those around us because it's reflected back to you. Being mindful of what you're watching and what's happening in the household, because our immediate current environment is going to really impact us. Now we do have the double fives. Now in tarot, fives are a challenging number. However, in angel messages, when you've got that multiple five, the angels are telling you a positive change is coming. And like I said, we've got that positive. We just need to keep focusing in on it. What about the end of the week? What does the end of the week bring? My amethyst friends. The Star, the 17th card in the Major Arcana. She's our hopes and dreams card. We're going to see things start to align at the end of the week. We're going to see those hopes and dreams become more in tune with that soul's deeper purpose, our life's journey. We're also going to find that balance. The Star is a balancing card. She usually has 1 foot on land and 1 foot on the water, and she's giving energies to both the land and the water, so from to above and below. So that balanced energy will also come forward, especially as we're identifying and being mindful of these energies. And when we start to identify and label things and give them that attention they need, it's when things start to balance out and you start to see shifts happening. All right, let's go on to blessings. What blessing can my amethyst friends embrace at the beginning of the week? Now, like I said at the beginning of this reading, I'm focusing in on the positive. So I'm not going to be looking at the challenge this week. We already know we've got a global challenge to overcome right now, so I'm not going to be pulling extra challenges. We're really going to be focusing in on that positive, those skills and abilities. What blessing, it's jumping already, can my friends embrace at the beginning of the week? Joy. What a fantastic card. That's what we need to be focusing in on. Not the grief and the loss. Yes, we need to identify what hasn't been working. And part of us have known that, you know what, past readings and past experiences has told you that those 3 cups isn't where we need to be. However, that change was too scary. Focusing in on that joy, focusing in on that positive will go a long way. Because like I said, we want to stay out of that kind of frazzled energy and embrace that high vibrational, joyous energy. What about the middle of the week? What blessing can my amethyst friends embrace for the middle of the week? Mysticism. It's a fantastic card to come in, especially in the middle of the week as we're struggling with the 5 of Swords. Mysticism talks about that unknown and how we've been taught it is scary. What this card is encouraging you to do is to gain the knowledge that you need before you're acting. So using that clear head to take on the 5 of Swords. Because let's be honest, swords are about truth and knowledge. And the one thing that takes the point out of the sword is to use your critical thinking skills and your knowledge. So using that knowledge to better your decisions and to lessen that fear, to lessen that unknown. Unknown in itself we hate. It's scary. However, when we lessen it through using our critical thinking skills, through exploring and educating ourselves. And I'm going to go back to what we have to be mindful of what we bring in, because educating ourselves can be kind of a bit of a gray area because there is so much uncertain knowledge out there. But getting the knowledge to better push yourself forward is going to be essential. Brings out that mystery and embraces those amazing pieces that you've been missing. And what about the end of the week? What blessing can my amethyst friends embrace for the end of the week? Prayer. Now, I know many people are triggered by the word prayer because they see themselves having to go into a church and kneel down and repent for anything that they've done. That's not what prayer is. Prayer is asking for what you need, putting it out there. You can pray to the greater being, to God, to Goddess, whatever that great energy is, to help guide you forward. They will then direct the high vibrational beings to support us in achieving that prayer. I've been asked by other high vibrational beings to be very clear. You don't pray to the high vibrational beings. They're not a god. They don't want to be worshipped. You just need to ask them. So there's a difference between asking those high vibrational beings for the help and praying to the higher source. When you pray to the higher source, they're going to help figure out what you need. They'll ask them and connect in with them. So we don't necessarily need to know who will best suit that job. We can just ask that greater being for help. Now we can ask the high vibrational beings for support and their guidance, by just putting it out there, just by opening our mouths. Even if we don't know which high vibrational being we need, we can say, can a high vibrational being support me in achieving, asking your question, for my greater good and highest vibration. That way you're putting it out there and they will come and respond. But sending out and asking for what we need is going to be very important, not only for the high vibrational beings, but for those around us. Our family and friends want to support us as well. Asking them for the help that you need and ensuring that you're open for their response and their support, because they will need to support you in their way rather than your way. So being open to whatever love and energy and nurturing they're going to send your way. All right, so what further information and guidance can we give my amethyst friends? Whoop, that one really needed to get there. For the week of March 22nd through the 28th. So let's start off with the one that decided it wanted to make sure it was well known. The Devil. Of course it had to be the Devil, right guys? The 15th card in the Major Arcana, and it talks about those vices, those addictions, those coping mechanisms that we have been using that may not be for our greater good and that are actually slowing us down. These vices are also scaring the hell out of us. So really being critical about what's happening and that inner dialogue and what coping mechanisms you're using. You don't want to frazzle out and stress out the community and household that you're living in. We need to acknowledge and address what's happening in the here and now for us. Like I said, we need to release stuff that isn't working. And let's be honest, the devil and your ego does hold a lot of that energy. Then we had the Ten of Cups. This is the second family card that we've got. So highlighting the importance of that supportive community. Not only do we have that physical family, but we're also looking at that astral family. Cups are connected into our intuition. We've got family all over the place. Connecting in and receiving guidance and support and nurturing and love from all of them is going to be essential. Now we do have the double 10. In angel messages, when we've got that multiple 10, the angels are telling you that this is a time to work on your personal development and spiritual enlightenment. So this week and these weeks that we're looking at being confined into our spaces is giving us the opportunity to access time that we've always wanted. Many of us have said, oh, if only I had extra time would I connect in and do more of this creative stuff. Only if I had extra time would I. Well, we've got that extra time, my friends. Reframing and embracing this energy and these times in a very different light than that scary, oh my God energy, but that joy and light and love is going to go a long way. The Strength. The 8th card in the Major Arcana. Those inner skills and abilities. Very much connected into the Chariot. We've got the 7 and the 8 there. What we're looking at is using your abilities and skills. Now she usually has 2 infinity symbols. One at the top of her head and then one connected between her and the lion. That infinite energy is there for you. You just need to tap into it and ask for what you need. When we put that out and request what we need, put it out there, we can connect in to that amazing divine energy of the universe to take us forward. It amplifies our skills and abilities that we have to tackle different problems and challenges in a unique way, and being able, and this is a big piece, to focus in some of this on you, giving yourself you time. Because some of this energy that we're looking at needs to be focused in on your journey, on nurturing and healing you, and balancing out your life. Because when we have that balanced energy from us, it will radiate and permeate everything around us. The Four of Swords, the final card to jump out, very much connects into what I just said. The Four of Swords is a rest and a rejuvenation card. We need to focus in on ourselves so that we are able to take those next pieces, those next steps, and help those who are very important to us. I want to thank you guys so much for spending time with me today and watching my video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. Over the next couple weeks, I'm really going to be focusing in on that healing and light energy. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. I want to thank you again for joining me today, and I send you lots of love and light. Until tomorrow, my friends. Hello and welcome, my Moonstone friends. This reading is just for you guys. Now, like in the other readings, I have all 78 tarot cards and the full deck of wisdom cards, so you get the most complete and full reading. And like always, you guys are part of this shuffling and asking of questions. So let's see what the cards have to say today. What can my Moonstone friends expect from the week of March 22nd through the 28th? Woo! Now we're really getting jumpers. And that one jumped out at the end. So we're going to start out with the one that decided to take the leap of faith right at the end there. Acceptance. We have not a lot of control over what's happening right now. We have to have acceptance for what's happening. We also have to have acceptance for self. Accepting where we're at and acknowledging that's okay. We may be scared, we may not be. We may be fearful, we may not be. Embracing where we're at in the here and now so that we can move forward from wherever that space may be. Impasse. Some of us are really feeling like we're hitting a hard bang here, and we feel like we can't move forward. This is a time where we need to slow down, kind of quiet things down. So if you've been focused in on the news and those conferences that are happening, quiet them down, turn them off for a while, so that you can ground yourself, understand where it is you're coming from, so you'll know how to go around it. Because as a species, we're at a point of impasse. We have to go around and we have to shift and change. We can't keep going on like we have. We have to make shifts and changes. And we're being very clearly told that's what has to happen, not only by those in power in our countries and in our societies, but also more importantly by the universe. We need to go around that impasse. So we need to quiet down, understand where we're coming from, so we know how to do that. Vanity. Like I said, things need to shift and change. Where our energies used to lie, we need to shift them out of there. We need to focus them in on that life-giving energy and space rather than that vain and very materialistic avenue. Yes, we need those basic resources. We need those fundamental pieces. However, we need to make sure that we're not hyper-focusing in on that materialistic aspect. guilt. Many of us have very mixed feelings about what's happening, and mixed feelings and a lot of guilt over not being able to be everything for everybody. Like I said, we need to make some shifts. The universe is dictating that. We need to start to focus in on ourselves and where we're coming from so that we can make those shifts. We can make some changes. We can tackle things from a different perspective in a more meaningful and fulfilling way. And then finally, perfection. That perfect state kind of goes into that vanity card a bit. Perfection is really in the eye of the beholder. If you come at things from a state of that things are perfect in the way that they are for right now, knowing that most things evolve and shift, then when they evolve and shift, they are perfect in their own way for the here and now. We need to have a more fluid understanding and connection with things than what we currently do. Because it's that vain and rigid energy and expectations that are driven by the lower vibrational ego that is causing us some challenge. All right, let's see what else the week is going to hold here. What cards reflect the week of March 22nd through the 28th for my Moonstone friends? The Knight of Pentacles. Knights are that adolescent, no fear energy, ready to take on anything. The Pentacle is about that growth and abundance. The Knight of Pentacles is the one knight that is focused in on his homestead. Now, Pamela Coleman Smith drew the knights in varying stages of action, where the Knight of Swords is charging head on into the storm. The Knight of Pentacles is standing steadfast in his field. He's plowed that field. He has worked hard. He's used his courage and determination to get the job done. And that's what we need to do. Have that courage and determination. Acknowledge there's stuff we can't change. Then, on the other hand, balance it out because there are things we can change. The way we come at situations, the way we process that best course of action is up to us. And we can make those shifts. We can make them for the positive and high vibrational sense of self rather than that fear-based energy. And then finally, the Hanged Man, the 12th card in the Major Arcana. He's the let it go guy. Letting go of some of those preconceived notions, those expectations, those ideologies, and letting the universe come in and give you a bit of direction, give you that boost that we need. Because right now we feel stuck. And when we feel stuck, that's when we need that divine intervention on how to get unstuck. Now we do have double 12s. The Hangman is the 12th card in the Major Arcana, and Knights are the 12th in the Minor Arcana. In angel messages, when you've got that multiple 12, the angels are telling you that this is a time of spiritual growth and awakening, and that you have your ability to manifest your dreams. It's going to be that guidance that we need to help do that. So let's look at this week a little bit more. What does the beginning part of the week bring my Moonstone friends? Oh, got a jumper there. Sometimes they hit the table so quietly you guys don't hear it. The Emperor, the 4th card in the Major Arcana, that structure and stability card. And let's be honest, we need that right now. We need that structure. We need to feel safe because there are things at play that we have no control over. Embracing in and fortifying that structure, that grounded energy, so we do feel connected and we feel strong to take on some of these challenges, so that we do feel strong enough to take on those exciting shifts that the week is bringing us. What about the middle of the week? What can my Moonstone friends expect in the middle of the week? Oh, got cards everywhere all of a sudden. That grounding really makes a difference for you guys. We've got some shifts going on. The Lovers, the 6th card in the Major Arcana, that talks about that loving, nurturing relationship. For many of us, it's that connection into our partner. We're going to find that solitude and support in our partner as you literally walk hand in hand through this. For everyone, we're looking at that relationship with self, strengthening that connection with our second part of ourself, our higher self, so that we are able to gain that direction and we have that support to take on any challenges that we're going to be faced with. The King of Swords. He is the everyday aspect of the Emperor. Whereas the Major Arcana are major life shifts, they're archetypes, they're energies. The King of Swords is that everyday implementation of that structure, that stability, and those norms. Maintaining as much structure and stability, really embracing those routines that we've found stability in the past, and implementing them and sticking to them. It's so easy to get derailed and hibernate and cocoon ourselves. However, this week and these weeks to come are going to give us more time to work on different aspects. We say to ourselves a lot, and I'm no different, oh, if I only had the time. Well, my friends, we have a lot more time. Many of us are working from home, so we don't have that commute time. So that can save quite a bit of our day. We don't have the expectations and demands of society and of family and friends because they too need to stay indoors. We need to stay at a distance right now. So we have that ability to make some amazing shifts and changes. However, we need to keep that stability, that routine in place so we're not cocooning our way in. It's so easy to sleep in when we know we don't have to commute. However, maintaining that routine will help us to have those extra hours to do something meaningful rather than sleeping in every day. And then finally, the 8 of Swords. 8s are about movement and manifestation. The Swords you really feel penned in. Many of us are going to feel this. Now usually it's a metaphorical penned in, but many of us are going to feel the confines of our homes and feel very stuck. Making sure that we respect those physical boundaries and our emotional boundaries as well. Because people will get on our nerves. So depending on how many individuals are in your house, you're going to find people start to have that snappy, frazzled energy. Because we're all starting to feel some of that confined energy. Really being mindful of that, grounding yourself when you feel that, and start to work on some of that higher vibrational stuff. Bringing that in, amplifying that, sending that out to your friends and family, to your home, so that that frazzled, lower vibrational energy is pushed out by this amazing unconditional loving energy, so that people can come at the challenges brought on by the day from a clearer and more critical head. We've got the Emperor and the King of Swords. That clear, critical thinking is going to be essential. And finally, the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring, my Moonstone friends? the Four of Cups. Now, fours are a foundational number. Okay, cups are about emotion and intuition. The Four of Cups talks about having a stable situation. You've created a life for yourself. There's stability in that. We've got that routine and structure here. But we're missing something. Something doesn't feel right. We kind of just feel blah about stuff. Embracing that holy grail that we're missing will help to really ignite those passions and fire and flame within us to get some more work done, to make that connection deeper and more strong and meaningful for us, and then we are able to find more joy in our lives, that we are able to find that fulfillment and those missing pieces that we're looking for. All right, I'm not going to go on to challenges because, let's be honest, we have a lot of them. I want to stay in the light and love. I'm being very conscious and very intentional about this. So we're going to go straight into blessings. What blessing, it's jumping already, can my moonstone friends embrace at the beginning of the week? Recovery. Knowing that this too will pass. And not only will it pass, we will gain more knowledge and more understanding on how we need to go forward. Most of us have lived through past epidemics and pandemics. Those feelings are still with us. Those sads and those losses, those heartaches. But we were able to overcome and recover from that. We have that knowledge. We're going to gain more knowledge from this situation so that we can apply it to future situations. All right, what about the middle of the week? What blessing can my moonstone friends embrace for the middle of the week? What an amazing card. Forgiveness. Forgiveness of self for past experiences, how we're reacting to things, what's happening for us in the here and now. Goes back down to that acceptance. And forgiving others because they're stressed out and overwhelmed and feeling that confined, chaotic energy. When we come from that energy of forgiveness and love, we're going to find the energies of people, whether it be individuals we interact with through social media or at the grocery store, because we will still have human contact. Having that forgiveness and that light and love will go a long way in recovering and gaining more knowledge into this situation. And finally, what blessing can my moonstone friends embrace for the end of the week? Confusion. I love that it's over the Four of Cups. The more work we're able to put in and connect into with that stability and foundation and giving ourselves permission to accepting the knowledge that's coming forward, the less confusion we're going to have. It's going to dissipate that fog that we're kind of functioning from. And it's that understanding and that wisdom that's going to help us go forward and really embrace that holy grail rather than the confusion of the Three of Cups. Finally, what further information and guidance can we share with my moonstone friends? the King of Cups. Kings have that fully developed personality. The Cups, that intuition and emotion. Goes back down to that frazzled, burnt out roller coaster of emotions we're feeling. Taking control of what we can take control of. We can't change what's happening in our world right now. However, we can take control of how we respond to it. And it's our responses that are going to impact those around us and add to or reduce that energy of conflict and confusion, or embracing that energy of love and light and recovery. It's up to us, and we have that conscious choice. Now, we do have multiple 14s. The Kings are the 14th card in the Minor Arcana, and the angels are telling you that this is a time that symbolizes love and spiritual growth. More importantly, you're going to attract what you put out there. So like I said, that light and love energy versus that lower vibrational confusion energy. The Six of Pentacles, balance and harmony. The Six of Pentacles talks about really refocusing and balancing out your energies, so you're focusing in on all aspects of your lives and you're able to see and embrace that growth. Like I said before, we've put off a lot of things because we didn't feel we had the time. Now, my friends, is the time to really schedule it in. We've got double Emperor energy here, that structure and routine. Schedule it in so that you do have that time. The Empress, the third card in the Major Arcana, she talks about abundance, growth, and fertility. We have the opportunity to gain a great deal of knowledge, to be able to work on aspects that we never thought possible because we were really struggling to juggle things out. Embracing this nurturing energy and applying it to ourselves so that we are able to work on our home front, that we are able to see that growth and abundance, and that we're able to tap into some of this fertile energy. We're able to produce and create what it is we want in our lives, focusing on the Holy Grail rather than those Three of Cups. The Page of Swords. Pages are that childlike, innocent energy, the sword, truth, and knowledge. The Page of Swords talks about coming at things from that childlike energy, that inquisitive, playful energy. It's so easy to get bogged down and focus in on that fear rather than taking that time to relax and have a bit of fun. Play, get our hands dirty. Do something that you used to do as a child but you haven't done because, again, you didn't think you had enough time. Coming through this week and the weeks ahead in that high vibrational, loving energy will go a long way for you. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today and watching my video. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. Over the next couple weeks, I'm really going to be focusing in on that healing and light energy. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I'm sending you light and love to take you forward. Until tomorrow, my friends.